Hey folks, hope you guys are having a good day. Let's go ahead and hop into things and see how you guys are doing today. I don't have any, there we go, that's a little better. I don't have any tier maker stuff today because I'm kind of rolling without a lot of prep time today. I meant to go do a bunch of recycling today and I just couldn't get it done because I woke up too late. That happens. I actually was up late doing the last main quest content, I guess, of Final Fantasy XIV, so I can do a little bit of a analysis and review of that particular game, which was pretty fun. As far as modern MMOs go, it's a pretty fun one, and I've definitely enjoyed my time playing it. And I think what makes it fun is it has lots of little things that I would consider content that's put in for fun. So there's this thing that happened with game design, and I will kind of lead this into as we get people in before we start playing the game. It's just like the fall of Blizzard. Once upon a time, game design in general was based around a core principle, what's this game about? What's the thing that you're going to do in this game? Is it jumping over enemies, or is it stealthing through corridors if you're playing Thief or something like that? And most of the other stuff in the game was just that might be cool, let's just put it in there. There was a lot of, if it's fun or if it's cool, we'll just put it in the game. And so a lot of game design, especially from the late 90s into say the early 2000s, had this element of oh, that's cool, let's put it in there. So there was a lot of crazy stuff that was in games back then. Just stuff that doesn't necessarily go to the core game design and doesn't make the player want to do something a certain way. And what has happened is, I guess after Gaming Ground Zero, the main philosophy that took over, especially the AAA gaming industry, I still think that indies have this philosophy of if it's cool, we'll put it in the game. But what took over the AAA gaming industry was this idea that game design is about how you control and manipulate the player and his or her experience while playing the game. And that's just a big change of game design over what things used to be. So if you look at, if you want to compare and contrast, for instance, Morrowind and say Skyrim, and what's happened between those games. The reason people are big fans of Morrowind is Morrowind included all kinds of crazy crap. Same thing with Oblivion. Oblivion kind of more transitional, but included all kinds of things that they just threw in the game because they thought they'd be fun. So Morrowind had spells that could, make you levitate. You could jump across the continent with spells. It included vampires. They put vampires in the game because they thought vampires were cool. Vampires are cool. Let's put them in the game. There's not like an idea like, how are vampires? How's vampirism going to fundamentally affect somebody's playstyle? So if you look at the vampirism, by the time you get to Skyrim, it's not really an impact on your character. It's like you have a stamina drain when you're like walking under the sun. The sun doesn't even kill you. Whereas in Oblivion, like, you had to carefully manage your experience if you were a vampire, because if you were too deep in vampirism and you were to like fast travel somewhere, the sun could be up by the time you get there and it would kill you. In Morrowind, if you became a vampire, it became a different game. Like, there was this vampire clan thing where you had to pick a vampire house and that kind of stuff. So there's this whole hidden secret game in Morrowind based around vampirism. Now, if you were to try to do that today, what would happen with the executive producer of the game? He'd be like, you're going to waste a bunch of resources making a second game that's hidden from players, that players don't know about and won't know about unless they happen to encounter a vampire and happen to catch vampirism from that vampire and happen to not cure themselves and actually become a vampire. Then they get to go to explore this other game. Like, that's a total waste of resources. Maybe we'll sell that as DLC, and the player will just have a courier come up and ask them if they want to be a vampire, and then they'll get to do the vampire DLC. And that's indeed exactly what they did in Skyrim, is that there's a vampire DLC in Skyrim, which is like, it just funnels you into a vampire mode. Same thing with the werewolves in Skyrim. It's like you walk up to the companions, and then like one quest later, they turn you into a werewolf. It's completely boring compared to Morrowind. So putting Sliv in the game because it was cool. Blizzard used to do this. So if you're playing Vanilla WoW is so unbalanced. Vanilla WoW is full of weird Easter eggs. It's full of weird stuff they put in. You could farm faction rep with the Bloodsail Buccaneers. Why did they do that? Well, it's cool. You could farm faction rep with, like, I don't know if you could farm Syndicate rep, but you could get Ravenhold rep for sure. So, like, you could farm, you could farm rep with this weird rogue faction that they never really finished. They just threw things in the game because it was cool. They tossed all kinds of things, even in Burning Crusade. The entire idea of flying was, wouldn't it be cool if we had flying? And it completely screwed the game design up completely. But they just threw it in the game because why not? Because players think it would be cool. It'd be a cool thing to add to this expansion to really sell the expansion. You just threw a lot of things in the original game because they were that way. So really, if people are talking about the fall of Blizzard, this is the hot topic because of this lawsuit. And I was seeing this video of Preach. Preach Gaming is a very big channel that does WoW content and has for years, and he's a very high level raider, and that's been a channel where you can get that perspective of somebody who plays the game very seriously. But there's like the Drama Time shows, which are always very funny. He's like, I'm quitting WoW. I got to stop playing. I saw Mad Season was like, I'm quitting WoW. Now I quit WoW. First time I quit WoW was actually back in Wrath of the Lich King. And it just had to do with their content design. It was like, I'm not going to get my $15 a month out of this game with the way it is now. So I'm going to quit for a while and I'll come back for the next patch. And that was when they really switched over to this whole idea of like selling the patch and not really having like that wild and wacky vanilla experience. So really it goes back well over, at this point, over 10 years. The seeds of the fall of Blizzard really come to do with this post Gaming Ground Zero philosophy shift towards making a product that's directed towards manipulating the consumer in some kind of way rather than being an act of love, and really game design that's fun. Games were designed by basically groups of misfits back in the 90s and 80s, just people that were like outside of the normal corporate apparatus and weren't looking to establish some sort of control over their customer to extract as much money as possible. They were just trying to do cool stuff. And really that's where the change from Blizzard quality goes into Blizzard garbage. And frankly, I think Wrath of the Lich King was probably the last decent product they ever came out with. I remember the first time I had buyer's remorse for a Blizzard product was StarCraft II. So StarCraft II is just the shining example of this shift. StarCraft 1 was like, why don't we do 3 factions? You had wacky maps. You had a huge amount of single-player campaigns. StarCraft 2 still came out when a lot of people didn't have high-speed internet, and so you had to sell a single-player campaign. That's what StarCraft 1, that's what StarCraft really was. StarCraft 2 was like 1/8 the single-player content of StarCraft 1 is what it felt like. The campaign was really short and really simple. And what was it in terms of gameplay? Was it an evolution of StarCraft, the original? No, it was just StarCraft, the original, but basically with better graphics and a couple of little gameplay tweaks to be more, quote, balanced. And so that focus on trying to make things balanced and trying to focus on esports basically made StarCraft 2 one of the most boring games I ever played. Besides the fact that it was completely buggy when it was released. Those things tend to happen, but it wasn't a quality product when it was released. It crashed constantly. There was all kinds of graphical errors. The ladder system was completely messed up to where, I could win 20 matches in a row and it would just keep me in like Bronze League. And someone else would be like, yeah, I got to Diamond League after 10 wins. It's like, how does that work? It's like, oh, there's some kind of algorithm behind there that just says that you get to play with people who suck. And that's just the way that your life goes. And they had the same thing with arenas at the time too. Just like I could win like 20 arenas in a row and gain like 5, my rank would go up by like 50, winning about, you go 5 each. And someone else would win 10, like, yeah, I'm back at 2K. It's like, what? How does that work? There's stuff like that. So, but it was, yeah, someone says it's like StarCraft 2 was made to be esports. And really that's the shift, is that it's about trying to play up a certain customer experience. And then, we're going to release expansions for it. They give you the other parts of the story. Well, that's pretty crappy as well. And at the same time, you got Cataclysm, which was not a slightly underrated expansion. And then you ended up getting, after that, I guess, you got Mists of Pandaria, which is where you got Raid Finder. And Raid Finder for WoW was really the beginning of the end. That was the big shift from a core design of putting cool stuff into getting viewing players as like, we're selling you Pepsi kind of thing. Oh, well, you can show up and do the Raid Finder and get your Raid Finder, see the content or whatever it's going to be. And that's not really the experience of the original game that felt so good and was full of so much crazy crap. Like the original game had a werewolf city. Like you could go down to this werewolf city, and during the day they were humans, and so it was in a horde area. So horde, you'd show up, you're like, all of a sudden there's elite werewolves owning the crap out of me. If you showed up as a human, you could actually like buy from vendors and stuff. But when the sun went down in the game, they all turned into werewolves and owned the crap out of you. Just putting something like that in the game, like a producer now would be like, that's a waste of time. Players would be confused. Why would you do that? Let's just put in some more daily quests. Let's put some more mobs for them to farm. Let's do this and that, So that's the big shift. So Blizzard quality really went away 10 years ago, not just with the merge with Activision. I think the seeds really began before that. But the shift from a game company that's about making cool games to a game company that's about controlling some sort of customer experience. And when they stop publishing sub numbers, they're like, well, sub numbers don't really determine how much money we make. It's like, oh, in other words, you're extracting... You basically are trying to extract money from whales. And you can see that with the way they designed the game. Is like, oh, your server's dead? Well, you can pay us, whatever it was, $20 to transfer to a server that's not dead. Well, no, we're not going to provide servers full of people to play with. No, you have to pay us to extra money to do that. You're on this server. You could pay for a faction change because there's 100 million horde and like 3 alliance. Okay, great. Let me pay you so I can play the game that I already paid for. That kind of stuff. I mean, that goes way back, guys. It goes back over 10 years at this point. I've had people say like, hey, server transfers are what killed WoW. It's like server transfers were like a Band-Aid over the fact that WoW refused to merge servers. And they refused to merge servers for 2 reasons. The first one is because they're going to sell you a server transfer. The second one is that whenever servers were merging, it was a sign that an MMO was dying. And you never wanted to put out that signal in the mid-aughts that your MMO was dying. Oh, we're merging servers. Oh, this one's dying. Time to hop on the next game. They just didn't want to do that. Yeah, Bradford says he recently quit WoW after 15 years. The first time I ever deactivated my subscription was in Wrath of the Lich King, and it was the Trial of the Crusader. And I was in a raiding guild. We cleared it out. Like they gated the content artificially. So you could do boss 1 the first week, And second week, you could do first 2 bosses. Third week, you could do first 3 bosses, and so on until you got through all 6 bosses. I think there were 6 bosses in it. So Trial of the Crusader, 6 weeks in, you couldn't even do heroic. You couldn't do the hard mode until 6 weeks in, until you cleared it on normal. Cleared it on normal, went in the next raiding night on hard mode, cleared it, went in a third night, cleared it again. And then I looked at this, I'm like, so I'm going to have probably 6 months of a 1-room raid that we've already got on farm. And like at that point, like there was some guild drama. I'm like, I'm going to quit the guild and I'm going to deactivate my account. And that's exactly what I did, And I appreciated my time with the guild and the people that let me play with them in that guild for sure. But like, it got to a point where you're just looking at like, this isn't going to be fun. It's a corporate raiding environment, 25-man raids. It's not going to be fun for 6 months. So I deactivated. And that artificial content gating, like that's when I'm aware of that design. When I become aware of like, oh, you're doing something to make me pay for an extra month because this will be on farm as soon as it's available, basically. So they got an extra month, maybe, they got an extra $15 out of me by timing it. Probably an extra $30 because I think they probably timed it so like, it came out towards the end of the month when everybody was going to get charged after a week, and then so they got like 2 extra months of money out of me by gating the content artificially, and they continue to do that. They do that in Shadowlands now. They gate it so like you can't do all the renown quests right when you start. It's there to waste your time. But really, like, it's so obvious in current WoW that everything about the game is there to make you keep paying a subscription to just because you can't get to the content this week. It's not that it's super hard. There is like mythic raiding. There is hard stuff. But, you can't get to the basic content that has nothing to do with raids. Like, you can't make your legendaries. You can't grind out a legendary this week. You can do Torghast every week for like 2 months, and then you'll have enough to make your legendary not ass. It's like, that's awful. And then, you're going to have to make a new legendary because we came out with these other sets that have all this RNG to it. What an awful way to design the game. So their bad design really goes way back, but it starts with this idea of like, we're going to manipulate the player instead of just putting cool shit in the game. And then from then, that's really where everything falls apart. Diablo 3, the original Diablo 3 was pretty bad. They fixed it, and now Diablo 3, I could say, is a good game, but it definitely released in a pretty bad state. I consider Overwatch completely boring and not worth playing at all. I know there's people who love Overwatch. They made Overwatch Legos. They didn't make Warcraft Legos. Like, my kid would want Warcraft Legos way more than Overwatch Legos. But yeah, so that's, that's the fall of Blizzard. It really has more to do with bad game design, and all of this stuff that's come out about like bad working environment, that's just a product of the corporate work environment. It gets turned from a group of guys making cool games into a corporation, and people have corporate attitudes coming into it, and people don't know how to act, in other words, too. So like you have both of those things colliding, where it's too casual in atmosphere, but it's also got a corporate approach to everything. That's how it is. So yeah, MMOs have always been giant time sinks. However, they've always been time sinks. However, a lot of what makes the MMO feel good has to do with feeling like you're having fun playing. So EverQuest, as an example, slowing things down. EverQuest was fun because you had to group up with other people and do really challenging stuff. And so that's what made it fun. If they had made it so like you could just solo clear mobs, it would have been a boring game. If you could have leveled up to level whatever the level cap for whatever expansion you're in happens to be. If you could level up to level 60 or whatever really quickly, like in an afternoon or in a couple of weeks, the way that you play single player game, people would just quit. They'd be bored of the game. So having the game occur at a slower pace actually makes it more interesting. And this was true of Vanilla WoW as well. You had a much more epic experience grinding up to 60 because there was so much to do on the way there. And it was challenging. It was challenging to do, and it was fun to do when you met a lot of people on the way that you liked and you enjoyed spending time with and you enjoyed overcoming challenges with. So the challenge of leveling up in Vanilla WoW, especially back then in 2004, 2005, when people weren't good at the game, we didn't know how to play the game. We came from EverQuest where it was like You barely had any spells. EverQuest is way slower, but like, it was a challenge. It took you sometimes months to level up to 60 when you started playing WoW because you didn't know how to play. And that's just the way it was, and that was part of the fun of the game. So, a lot of that is Left 4 Dead. Yeah, I played Left 4 Dead. Oh, wait, I don't... L4D, I thought it was Left 4 Dead. I played Left 4 Dead, yeah, but I don't know if you're talking about something else. But that time sink basically is part of what made it fun. Yeah, death had consequences in EQ. Like, you lost experience. You could de-level in a raid, and like the raid might have to get called because too many people died. So too many people would have died and de-leveled in the raid, and you'd have to call the raid, and you'd have to try to pull your corpses back to the entrance and res them, to try to get some experience back. EQ had major death penalties, which I liked. But now I think people would be too upset about the time waste of the death penalty. Anyway, so there's that. YouTube seems to have put me on some sort of list I could chat in live streams, but my comments in the comment section of video pages always get deleted within seconds. Sorry. Remember Ultimate Games? Yep, Ultima Online was a lot of fun stuff. I liked Left 4 Dead. I liked a lot of that stuff. I never listened to the instance. No, sorry. Okay, let's play some games. That's my spiel on changes of game design over the years, which is basically, been from things that are focused on fun and you just did things because you thought they were cool, into things which are really focused around manipulating the player. DLC is a great example. Like, you put a bunch of things, little cookies, behind a paywall so that people have to pay you for the privilege of getting to see the whole story, for instance. I think like Final Fantasy 15 had like all kinds of crap behind. Let's see here. Is this it? I'm trying to find my... Oh, here it is. Properties. Let's get this on. There it is. Bup, 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 bup. There we go. Not every game can last forever. No king rules forever. We kept wanting games to like displace WoW because we wanted something fun to play again. It's like we've had mediocre MMOs for over 10 years at this point. They were never heard from again. Krill's crying. We already talked to her. I figured out how to kill that skeleton, the skeleton T-Rex. If you just put a Phoenix down on it, it just dies instantly. So I was like healing it, and then I was like, well, let's try Phoenix down. And it was like, yeah, died instantly. I'm not sure if I need any of these upgrades here. Like a Warhammer or a Halcyon Blade. I don't know how to like check if it's good. Or a Half Moon Blade. I guess we could try that out. We got some gold. Wind Lance. We don't have a Dragoon or anything right now, so I don't know. Half Moon. Let's take a look here. What do I have? Blizzard's reign is over. I think that's a good thing, though. But, like, a Phoenix could rise from the ashes, too. Like, we don't... we don't know exactly what's going to happen. What do these guys have for me? Drain. Break. Bio. That's some magic. Okay. You always want to buy all the magic. Last MMO I played was Old Republic. I played it back when it came out or like really in, I guess, beta, and I didn't really like it. It was, you know, they're like, oh, it's going to be story. It's like, it's just another MMO. It's okay. The gameplay's okay. I didn't like the graphics. The graphics were very off-putting to me. There was just something about them I didn't like. That's the best way I could put it. It's not a bad game. But I think you really couldn't get away with... I don't think we need any of this. I think you really couldn't get away with... I don't know how to put it. I think you couldn't get away with not copying WoW at the time. I really do. Gold armor. Do we have... maybe it's here. Elf cloak. Oh yeah, elf cloak is sweet. Magic power and speed. That's what we want. Do I have another elf cloak? I do. I like the power wrist. Mithril glove. Alright, that's good. How did your original creator, Razor, reply? To Star Trek, DS9? Yeah, I mean, DS9 still had Rick Berman, though. I mean, Rick Berman really kind of took over the franchise at some point, and I do like his takes on it. But really, the whole idea of the creator thing is like, what's official? What's official is what the creator makes, and after that, it's just someone else's idea of what it is. That's the best way I could put it. Silver plate. Poet robe's pretty good. Here. Put that on. Vigor. I think I can only wear the angel robe on like white mage, so I'm gonna do white mage. You know, and Gene Roddenberry, even though he's like the, you know, the creator. Oh. That's cool. You can't go in here. Well, I did. Welcome. Come right in. Someone put this in the game because it was funny. This is a business here. Don't bug me while I'm working. Received Lamia's harp. Oh, that's how we get that, I guess. I don't have a bard, though, because bards are pretty bad. In this game, at least. They are lots of fun in Final Fantasy XIV, mostly because you can... you could perform on them. I figured out how to hook up my MIDI keyboard. And that was just a ton of fun. Let's hook up the MIDI keyboard. I'm gonna make my face bigger here. Bam. Alright. Yeah, you can make a very good case that George Lucas really is the only creator of Star Wars. Like, he did every movie. He like reshot stuff from movies that he didn't direct, even when he was writing, say, the story for them. Whoa. What does that open? Oh, I guess it takes me back. That was interesting. So let's go explore this little moat. See what's in this moat. See if there's anything under here. I always liked in Link to the Past, you could finally go under the bridge once you got the flippers, and there was like a homeless guy under there blowing bubbles, which meant sleeping, I guess, but it gave you a free jar, which was really nice. Okay, I walked all the way around here. Found great sword lying in the water. Sweet. Let's see what we can do with the great sword. See, I'm a little big now. I'm like crowding out the frame here. Let's shrink me back down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's called something else. Yeah, you pick up the greatsword, but it's actually a regal cutlass. That's right. So that's the actual item. And then we get the ancient sword, unarmed. I think we may be maxing out monk here pretty soon. What other musical projects do you want to do apart from Zool? I don't know. Right now, my hearing's really shot, so it's hard for me to think about even doing music. Like I can't hear anything, so I can't really do music right now because of my bad hearing. Maybe I'll be able to get that fixed or just move towards a better situation this year. Open the gates! But sire, X-Death's monsters will close the gate after us and seal her up tight. But sire, you won't be able to re-enter. Are you certain? No. I want to see if there's anything else I missed before I leave this area. Okay, try it here. Go up here. I think that regal cutlass is like the best item that you can get out of here. So let's make sure we like buy enough items to get through the next area. What are your thoughts on remakes that don't depend on nostalgia for the original? I wouldn't call The Mummy of 1999 even really a remake. I mean, it's so different. I guess it's a remake. But it still relied on the name of the original. Sorry, my nose is a little itchy. I think we're going to want some holy water because these things, there's things out there that turn us into zombies. Do we have any? Buy a cottage. Either buy a couple of those. Ethers you can like really like run out of ethers quick. But it's cool that we can buy those. Here. I don't think there's any swords I want to buy or armor, so let's just maybe... Actually, maybe that knife. What does Ferris have? Dancing dirk and hunting knife. Mage slasher. Ninja knife, mithril knife, dirk. Moon ring. So I was using double moon rings, but we'll do the dancing dirks. The dancing dirk is really good. Maybe buy a halcyon blade. Can use magic sword. Equip. Oh yeah, halcyon blade's good. All right, good. Little upgrade there. All right. Open the gates. Yes. Leave me. As far as music, like at some point I'd like to do a little metal project, but I don't know how I'm gonna have time for it and do the other things that I really need to do. Be careful, Majesty. So I don't know. That'll happen in the margins. I can't really like work with other people right now at all. That's just not where my life is. X-Deaths, they move fast. X-Deaths monsters, look alive, everyone. Let's move. More monsters, huh? All right. Ouch. Punch him. Good job. Abductor. Oh, that was... Okay, that wasn't too bad. Actually, I think there's like a way to farm ability points. Here? No. Okay, let me see if I can go back in. Oh, man. So you can go down to, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do something. I actually have a save state here, so I'm gonna do something here. Because I've remembered something of this game. So let's go and load that state. We didn't really miss out on anything, just like me buying stuff. I'm walking around this town. All right. So, really quickly, let's buy some. We'll buy a couple of those. Let's buy a couple of those, because we have zombie. We're gonna have like zombie enemies coming up. We don't need any of this other stuff. Have you produced any ambient experimental music? Yes. That's what I do. Tons of it. It's all over the channel. Need 5 more of those. I have a solid 10 of those. Tonic. Let's do... We'll grab 98 tonics. And let's grab 10 potions. I'm gonna farm some ability points. I've done music that is way more bizarre than what most people would even consider music, too. So let's go in here. We'll get the Lamia harp, buy the knife, and then I'm going to show you where we can actually farm some ability points. You can go to the basement here, and there's like some angel robe. Optimize will only evaluate items' attack defense and may unequip special items like elf cloak, etc. Oh yeah, this is where I remembered I need to equip elf cloak. Get the Lamia harp. If John C. Wright has a criteria that just defines canonicity based on a separation from the creator, I'm not really interested in it. You know, I determine what's canon in my world. Sorry. That's how it works. The entire idea of canon actually is a little bit silly when you stop and think about it. It's a way to try to figure out what's official in a world full of stuff that makes no sense. So I just don't even really worry about that. And this is the message I want to get across of this. If somebody comes out with something that's wacky, it's just their version of whatever that is. It's just them doing something. You know, so just evaluate the individual item. You know, the individual thing. Equip. I want the Regal Cutlass. I want the Elf Cloak. I want the Ancient Sword. The Elf Cloak. Alright. Weirdest book you ever read? I think it may be Ask Goblins of Auschwitz. Pretty weird. Some other bizarro ones I've read. Yeah, if you want a playlist, let me grab a playlist here. Let's see here. Let's see if this has everything on it. This might be missing some stuff. I think if you just go to music, it's got... Yeah, here you go. This is just like the music playlist. Alright. Bunch of stuff. Some stuff that's like really weird in there. And like, I need to go back and digitize a lot of... I have like analog recordings from back in the day. Need to digitize. Or just like upload stuff. Remaster some stuff that's old of mine. Alright, we're gonna save right here. This is a little save spot right here. And save. Do not insert or remove controllers. Alright, so yeah, there's this door I think is locked. It's locked. But there's like some enemies that will attack you right here that are really good for ability points. And then if you like die, you can just run back upstairs and... Oh man, okay. I think we have a break sword. We have break. We have break. Oh, we might have to go to Black Mage to get break here. Okay. Oh, he got turned to stone. Let's run. Let's see if we can run. We'll go heal up real quick. Killing like 5 of those is kind of a big pain. We're gonna have to maybe do a Black Mage to really beat these guys. Because we have a bunch of... Are they still stone? Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the end. This is a good little spot to farm. You could farm ability points with these guys, if I remember right. So I'm going to try that. This is the end. I think the end will cure us of stone. That's a little cheaper. It's a cheap way to do it. By rights criteria, work must not break the spirit or rules of the world and characters of the original. If it does, it's not canon. I disagree, because who determines what the spirit of the world is? It's the person who creates it. You're the god of your own world as a creator. Its nature is determined by you. Alright. Yeah, I might want to go... Black. So I don't think I can do break. I don't think I can do break because I'm not a Black Mage. So maybe we'll just switch to Black Mage for this. And yeah, we're not going to get the Red Mage ability points, but it's okay. For now. Yeah, we really want to max Ninja. Want to max Monk. Sorcerer's almost maxed, so that'll be good. Sword. Break. I can't cast that now. All right, we're just gonna switch the job real fast to Black Mage. We're gonna do red. We really want to get max red mage though, because it's like it's pretty important. Yeah, who determines what the spirit of it is? You know, if I come out with a sequel and it's like, this has too much esoteric philosophy, it's not in the spirit of your original pulp-like works. I'm like, I determine what this stuff is. Let's see how much damage we do without break on it. Break will instantly kill these guys though. Where is it? If I remember right. Never mind. Apparently it does nothing. Whoa. No, I think it actually froze him. No, it didn't. He stoned my guy. I'm the dungeon master. I reject your reality and substitute my own. Oh, we killed that guy. 4 ability points. Disney paid George so they could call all the old EU legends. But, I mean, George always had the... Have like a golden needle soft. Let's save some time here. Yeah. I don't think Break was doing anything. So, let's just switch him back to Red Mage. Or switch her back to Red Mage. Where's Red Mage? Red Mage gets dual cast. And so with dual cast, you can basically dual cast summons, which is really good. All right. Could do like a little bit of Black Mage just to get the Black Mage spells for stuff. Lucas's biggest mistake was probably allowing lots of Star Wars side stuff to be considered canon. When he returned for the prequels, he had to compete with a lot of stuff that wasn't his. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a mistake, though, because it definitely kept the brand alive and growing and in people's minds. The work does not have a life of its own. I reject that. I reject that idea. I don't believe in death of the author. The Silmarillion isn't canon because even though Tolkien wrote it, it's not like Lord of the Rings. You have like bloodthirsty elves killing each other, so that's not canon. I'm gonna try this break sword and see if that does anything. It may do nothing. I actually don't know. Dead. Yeah, they didn't do anything. Let's raise. Am I being sarcastic about what? Timothy Zahn wrote canon stuff. Well, George can just decide what's canon or what's not. What do I care? It doesn't matter. It's just what it's. Timothy Zahn's work is Timothy Zahn's work. That's how I view it. You know, you don't have to be. It doesn't have to be some kind of weird thing. Yeah, I don't think it was a mistake for George to have, say, I wonder if there's like something. I'm gonna try like ice or something on these guys. See what that does. Not much. There we go. Some crits. Yeah, the break didn't seem to do anything. I thought break would work on these rocks, like it would break them, but apparently not. Why do I suddenly want a story about Elrond going berserk and hunting down Galadriel and Legolas? Like the most dangerous game. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I don't have any criterion. Like, what is the spirit of the original? What does that mean? How could the creator not know what the spirit of the original is? That makes no sense. When you stop and think about it. That's like saying the world doesn't exist because, you know, God destroyed it with a flood or something. Jitterbug. It's a cool little knife. It like keeps healing my ninja there. Those 4 ability points are big. It's really hard to farm ability points in this game. But we basically just do this till we're like more or less out of magic. And then we can maybe get like a job level or 2 here. This is probably kind of boring for streams. I could probably just do this like off stream, but I can't get back in the town. So I should have done this beforehand. But anyway, this is how you farm ability points. It's like a really good spot. And you can farm even more ability points later on, so I'm not going to go like hog wild here and like get all my guys maxed, but it'd be really good to maybe get Sorcerer maxed so I could switch him to Ninja and try that out. But like two-handed Sorcerer is really powerful. Like notice how hard he hits. He hits just like a truck. Dead. Creators sometimes change worldviews or forget things about their own works. So? You know, fix that in editing. I look forward to the day when someone writes like unofficial sequels for my books that they just declare unilaterally like canon because they didn't like the spirit of some other thing that I did. That'll be fun. Would elves in the Elder Scrolls eat people? I don't remember that. Yeah, so the creator changes worldviews. You're like, I liked the books before this. It's like Wheel of Time, right? Like, let's look at Wheel of Time, which is finished by a different author. The author chose that person to finish it. But if it's not, if you don't like Brandon Sanderson's Wheel of Time books, it's like, well, I don't really like Brandon Sanderson's Wheel of Time books. That doesn't, you know, it's not that serious. These are just some made-up sword stories, okay? It ain't that serious. Who do you think's in the right? Scarlett Johansson versus Disney lawsuit. I don't think it matters. I don't care who's in the right, because they're both, to me, kind of my enemies. So, if they both lose, that would be great. But I don't think that's going to happen. Legally, you know, I can't give you a legal opinion. Did Disney break contract? If they broke contract, then Scarlett Johansson's in the right. If they didn't break contract, then she's not in the right. You know. Extenuating circumstances don't necessarily excuse you from contracts. That's the point of a contract. I have to go get some more little softs, or have to use it sooner or something. Sometimes that Wonder Waltz just doesn't really do much. Yeah, Dark Tower has a definite tonal shift before and after. Before and after Stephen King was hit by a van, for sure. Let me do... We have Asuna. Apparently not. Item. I have to get some more of these in a minute here. But it's okay. I was too feminine. The Green Pact. Who would you want to direct a movie of one of your books? I don't care. If someone wants to pay me for that option, then they can make those creative decisions. Adaptations of books I like don't really excite me. It's like, let's do an original movie, please. I would love to have more original movies and less adaptations of previously existing stuff, which is probably better in its original form. Like, is the movie ever better than the book? Like, next time an adaptation comes out, it's like, what do you think of the new Dune movie? I don't know. Read Dune. It's going to be better than the movie. You know it is, so why would you bother? Let me waste 3 hours of my life watching this new Dune movie when I could just get 3 hours of reading a good book done called Dune. Just read Dune. Just skip the Dune movie and read Dune. Adaptations are like a boring money grab at this point. I don't care about them at all. The Nintendo Wii was an underrated console. The real underrated console was the Nintendo Wii U. The Nintendo Wii U was probably the best console Nintendo ever put out. But it was not their most successful. And I think the Wii was I think the Wii was not a very good console personally. But it was very successful in terms of sales. To buy some more of these. Save our time here. She complained that she was hypersexualized in Iron Man 2. Who cares, man? That's how you sell stuff. Go. All right, got one down. I've never read Jaws, so I don't know. if Jaws, the book, is better. But in most cases, like, that's what everyone says. Oh, the book is better. Okay, well, if the book's better, then just read the book and skip the movie. There we go. Let's see if we can get everybody like a job level here. We had lots of gems, even if you didn't like the controls. Mad World and No More Heroes. I don't remember No More Heroes. Let's see here. Let's see. Anybody getting close? Not really. Alright, let's do this a little bit more. Scarlett's aging out of the system. It's time to complain. Is the manga better than the anime? In a lot of cases, yeah. Most cases, probably. Now, right. Now let's go. I don't have to do all that business. I mean, in 2020, like, why bother with adaptations? Or remakes, or third adaptations, you know? Someone was commented about Dredd, like, the Dredd was a remake. Dredd was not a remake, it was just another adaptation of Judge Dredd. So, I don't think that you, like, get to have the official version of Judge Dredd because you were the first person to adapt it. The source material is the only real thing. And so it could be good, like an adaptation could be good, it could be bad, but in 2020, like, you know why they're adapting it, and they're adapting it because Hollywood has no creative energy in it. They adapt other creative people's work because they themselves have nothing to show for themselves at all. That's what it's like. And I'm sure there's some creative people in Hollywood. I'm sure there's some creative ideas, but they don't really get any traction, do they? You're not going to see very many original blockbusters unless they're like specifically made by someone who can carry that, you know, like a director like James Cameron or someone like that. Otherwise, you're just not going to really see it. I think Akira, the manga came first. Almost always you have manga come before... you almost always have manga come before the anime. It's really rare that you have a manga adaptation after an anime. I think you can do it, but it's pretty rare. The Adventures of Tom Bombadil is the only canon Lord of the Rings book. Do you think we'll ever get a new Star Wars type of franchise again? I think the age of like the corporate mass, I think pop culture is dead. I don't think we'll get another Star Wars because I don't think pop culture functions the way it used to. You're not going to have something where everybody's watching the same thing at the same time. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think because of the internet and the diversification of everything at the internet, I think that's what you're going to get is just many different diverse products. Old Tom Bombadil is a merry fellow. Bright blue is his jacket and his boots are yellow. When I read Lord of the Rings to my son, every song he makes me sing a song. Like I have to improvise a song for him. Or it like doesn't count. No, you have to sing it. So like I had to sing an entire song with like Sam's country accent about Tom Bombadil and the troll. The bone he boned from his owner. The age of franchises is over. It's niche subcultures from here on out. Even fandoms are a dying breed. I agree. That could be a really good thing, though. You know, if it weren't for that, we would never have Twilight Force. If you don't know what Twilight Force is, like, you go watch it and be like, this band exists for very specific people to enjoy. I'm one of those specific people. But, like, yeah. You know, no one would ever give money to make Twilight Force exist. Twilight Force had to exist of its own will. Any metal vinyl purchases lately? No, I wanted to get the new Darkthrone one, but like it's just not in the budget right now to buy a lot more vinyls. I'll probably get it eventually here when I feel like I have the extra money. I had to do like a bunch of auto repairs, which I did myself to save money. But I'm trying to get this remodel done on my house, so I really don't want to spend a lot of money on stuff. Basically, I'm enclosing part of my garage into like another room, an air-conditioned room in the house, so I'll increase square footage and stuff. But that's going to be my new office, and so then this room I think is going to be the guest room. And then my daughter's room will be where our guest room is now. And then eventually, I don't know what we're going to do because we've got another one coming. So, I don't know. We'll figure that out next year. But I was like, man, do I want to do this remodel or just kind of keep things as they are? And it's like, I really need to expand my house. Glad fandoms are dying, to be honest. Maybe we could get our hobbies back. Yeah, for real. Like, I don't know. MMOs were best before everyone was playing them. Like, I can say that the popularity of the MMO genre impacted it negatively and not at all positively. I can't think of any positive change that's happened with the MMO genre since its like ascendancy in the late aughts. It's like they've pretty much universally gotten worse. And the popular games have gotten worse too. EverQuest, WoW, they've all gotten worse. You know, is there any genre that hasn't gotten worse in video games, for instance? I can't think of any genre that hasn't gotten worse. You know, it gets infested by like this idea that you have to make a game for everyone. And so then the game ends up just not being its genre. They're like, that's where the mud genre is. And it's like, well, let's add some flower picking to this. What is this? Tactical RPG? Let's add some flower picking and exploration. Well, that's not, this is Dragon Age. This is tactical RPG. Now we gotta pick some flowers, and you gotta have a mission map, and you gotta have, you know, we'll go explore a zone, just like, you know, you can explore a zone like in WoW, and pick flowers like in WoW. If I wanted to play WoW, I would just play WoW. I want to play Dragon Age. Where's my highly tactical encounters? Why am I not having to set traps and lure Darkspawn into them? Oh, well, you know, people didn't really like that about the first game. I liked it. So did the other 10 million people who bought the PC version. You know? I think with the ascent, the cyberpunk genre just got way better. I don't know about that. Kingdom Under Fire was turned into an MMO and they added microtransactions. Yeah, I like the new Darkthrone actually quite a bit. I like the new Powerwolf. The new Powerwolf album is actually really good. I just keep getting 5 of these guys. Let's get out of here. I'm gonna look them up real quick. Oh, here he is. Oh, they're susceptible to level 5 death. Okay. Okay, I can... let's go buy softs. I think I can kill him with softs. We'll just go buy a bunch of those. And this will make it, like, really quick. See if I can... if they sell them here, which I think they do. Mono-genre slush is all the AAA games market. No wonder gacha games are crushing it. They came up with a new Nier mobile game that I need to do, like, a review on, because it's, like... it's a really good example of some things I talk about where it's, like, it's all aesthetics and presentation and, like, no gameplay. Here, let's buy... let's just buy a bunch of these. Here, we'll buy 30 of them. And we can kill these guys, I think, with the softs. So that's what we'll do. Oh, my guys are dead. I should have stayed at the end, huh? Let's do that. Something thrilling about good adaptations? Maybe. I just don't really pay attention to them. No. A gacha game is one that is... so here's what a gacha game is. Gacha's from gachapon. Gachapon is chance. So the game is built around you, like, paying some currency. Usually they obscure it. So there's an in-game currency that you can buy with dollars or your regional equivalent. And then it will summon random items or random, like, characters that you use. And from there you then... hope to get the good stuff. So it's all basically gambling. It's based on gambling. Like, you want to pay a bunch of money to get good stuff so you can be better at the game. So, you know, Genshin Impact is a gacha game. You know, what's a famous one? I don't know. There's a bunch of them. I think Raid Shadow Legends is probably a gacha game. I haven't really played it. You know, there's a bunch of them. Fire Emblem Heroes. There's Brave, what is it? Brave Frontier. So watch, we can use soft. And it should kill this guy instantly. Nope. Doesn't do it. Alright, so in this version of the game, apparently you cannot... apparently you can't kill it with a soft. Well, that's interesting. I was just hoping there would be, like, a good, cheap, easy way to do this. But apparently there's not. Let's try again. Dark returns. Whoa. Oh, he died. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, okay, so we just got to wait for it to take effect. And then it works. Okay. Just have to wait for it. And then you just wait. Okay, so it does kill him. All-time best animation. I don't know. I think that's such a broad question. The 1940s Superman stuff looks really good. Some gacha games do have more to them than the others, that's true. Let's put everyone in the back row and take no damage. Yeah, some gacha games do have more than others, that's true. They're not all created equal. They're not all... and I don't see gachapon as, like, necessarily... it's a manipulative system, and I think it ruins gameplay, but I don't necessarily think it will always make gameplay terrible. You know, there's a possibility you can get good gameplay out of it. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I think I have it. I think I bought it on a Steam sale, but never played it. Yeah, Gachapon is gambling, for sure. It's 100% gambling. Cast soft on my ex-wife's heart, please. Just kidding, I murdered her. We've got a great corn harvest in my garden this year. Yeah, we're basically like buying ability points here, but I'm okay with it. Like Genshin Impact, you could legitimately play through pretty much all the content without spending any money in Genshin Impact. You know, they don't really like other gacha games. So other gacha games really kind of, so like if you get a good character or something, then the content is trivial, which makes it not fun, unless you're on the hardest mode, which requires more like gachapon, you know, 5-star stuff. And that's the problem, is that the monetization strategy always affects gameplay. And so gacha pretty much always will affect gameplay negatively. Dark Returns. Dark Returns. This is sweet. Do you think MMOs are basically high-tech versions of going outside and playing cops and robbers or cowboys and Indians? That's kind of what games are, but not really. It's more like a high-tech version of something else. No, soft. It's like all games. Football is a more organized version of cops and robbers. What do you want? 8 ability points. Sweet. We're gonna get some job levels here, hopefully. I'm really tired of like monk. Yeah, getting up to 999 for red mage to get double cast. Dual cast is like so powerful though. It's so powerful. Apparently Stalin repented before his death. I've heard Mussolini is in heaven. So think about that. Actually, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna see if we can steal from these guys, because we might be able to just kind of get a loop here where we're like infinitely stealing them, infinitely like stealing soft from them, and then it's just like a ton of free ability points. Here's our code to get resources. Don't you like resource management? I think if, I think Fire Emblem Heroes is pretty fair as far as gacha goes. There's enough challenge at the end of the game, too, that, you know, I think it works okay. Let's do steel. So what we want is the first attack. Yeah, let's steal. Steal. Couldn't steal. Item. I'm just gonna see if I can. You know, we're gonna try stealing. I play Fire Emblem Heroes, which only really has a power creep problem. Else the game's neat. Yeah, the power creep problem is like this is part of gacha. You know, it's like you come out with new heroes that are better than the old ones. So there's a power creep, which makes people want to buy the new ones. You know, they want to spend money to get the new best thing, which upsets the balance of the game. So again, gachapon always negatively affects the game design in some way. You can't, you know, some are worse than others, but it's a terrible system to put into a game as a way of monetization. It will affect the gameplay negatively. Stole potion. Well, that's all right. I'm hoping to get more of these softs here. Games that don't advertise their gameplay at all, though. Boy, do I have a problem with them. Lots of games have ads like that. Yeah, they just showed the graphics. The graphics do sell games. I mean, that's why they do it, is that people like the way something looks. They like the aesthetics first. It's hard to advertise some gameplay, but, I mean, if you really have something unique with gameplay, it's cool to show it. Or get to, like, the core idea behind it. Dark Returns. Sounds like a cool black metal name. Like a name for a black metal band. Dark Returns. First strike. Couldn't steal. You're bad at stealing. It's the worst thief ever. This thief does not steal. Dark Returns. How much reading have you done lately? A lot, but a lot of different kinds. With audiobooks and stuff, I tend to listen to a lot more nonfiction. I don't love listening to fiction because I need to see it on the page, really, to control the pacing of how I read. Do this a few more times, then we gotta go buy more soft. That's a weird noise. I heard a weird noise. I wonder what that was. Sounds like my kids playing with the automaton or something. Started rereading Lord of the Rings because I haven't read that in years. It's really good. You know, it's interesting to come back to it like after having published a bunch of books. So I'll do some content on it, I'm sure. Kind of like if Amazon's going to come up with a if they're actually going to come out with that Lord of the Rings series, I may try to line up a bunch of content with that just to kind of milk that. And we do one more pull after this. What have I read by John C. Wright? I don't think I have. I have, what's it called? Neverwhere? I have one to read, but I haven't gotten to it yet. The Horus Warhammer novels, the Horus Heresy ones. I think that's probably one of the more interesting stories in the Warhammer universe. Item soft. Item soft. Dark Returns. But if you do black metal band called Dark Returns, the U has to be a V. Dark Returns. Stole a potion. Alright, then we gotta go buy some more of these. No, maybe that's a game sound. There might have been a game sound there. Ba-da-bop. Here we go. Let's go and save. I'm starting to run out of time for this stream, so I might call it here. But it's been fun. This hasn't been the most interesting gameplay stream. I should have done this off stream. So I'll do a little bit more off stream, and then we'll fight some bosses. Either next week or midweek. I might start trying to do a midweek stream. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. I don't know why it'd have a bottle of potion, but it does. Have you ever played through the 7 remake? Yes! I did it on stream, or played a lot of it on stream. It's good. I really enjoyed the gameplay. I think it was actually kind of cool that there's like a meta-narrative that involves, like, that assumes you played the first game. A lot of people didn't like that. They wanted just, seriously, a straight remake of it with better graphics. Instead, they got, like, an action RPG that has a meta-narrative, that's really a meta-narrative about the original game. It's good. You know, I would recommend it just for the gameplay, especially if you can get it on sale. And it had really fun gameplay, and to me, that's where it's at. To me, gameplay is like, you know, gameplay first. Oh, look, I'm even making money from this. Yeah, this is no big deal. We'll buy like, I'll buy like 10k of these, and then we'll do this off stream. That's perfect. I'm gonna get a job level here. All right, thanks, guys. I think I'm gonna call it there today because I have a ton of stuff that I still need to do, so I need to actually get to that. Maybe try to take the recycling back over. So. But I appreciate it. There is a music playlist listed there. Also, I mean, I should just list where you can buy it, right? Which is zolaonline.bandcamp.com. If you want to download any files, I think they're all like option to pay, so you can download some of that music and listen to it if you want. And, oh yeah, I mean, I haven't been talking about Kindle Vela because I still really don't know what's up. I can't even track how my Kindle Vela story is doing, but I do have one on Kindle Vela for anybody that's wanting to buy tokens and read stuff that way. Read serial fiction. Bright Children should be running through August. You know, I don't really know how it's doing. I don't know if it's making me money or not making me money. I have no idea. There's 26 upvotes on it. So it's a cool dark fantasy story. It takes place in a world without light, so you can read that. And I will have, this is like the first volume we'll run through August. And if if somehow I can gauge whether it's successful or not, then I will continue it. And if not, then I'll probably transition it to a book and then put it out as a trilogy, book 1, 2, 3, and I'll write the next 2 books in the series. So book 3, Moonsong, I'm working on that right now, just trying to. I have had very little time to work. I realize that I have been out of town. I have traveled for over a month this year, so I've missed a whole month of work so far this year just due to travel. And so it's actually put me behind on a bunch of stuff, and it's also interrupted my workflow on a bunch of things too. I'd really hoped to have like 2 or 3 other books out by now, but just like things I've had a huge number of interruptions. Like my mother-in-law died, that just like couldn't get any work done during that time, which is normal. You shouldn't beat yourself up because you can't do work when there's a death in the family or something like that. And then I've traveled like for a month, so I'm like looking at it, I'm like, man, I just have not put out as much stuff as I wanted to. As far as I've only done this Dark Children book, or this Bright Children book. Where's all the other stuff? It's like, oh yeah, I've already lost a bunch of time this year as far as work goes. So I'm getting that one out as quick as I can. I kind of wanted to line that one up because I have another book that's already written that I haven't published yet, that is part of the series with Crown of Sight. These are like more mythic fantasy. So that one will come out hopefully after. I'll do Moonsong 3, hopefully, then this one, and then Eternal Dream 3, the big one, the big book. And that one's going to be another piece in this series. A big, thick, nice, big fantasy book for people to read. I have a really fun story with that one. Very influenced by fairy tale stuff, so as the other ones are. So you'll probably like that one. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Have a great one. And don't forget to, have fun. Fun is mandatory. I have been playing Final Fantasy XIV. I am on Zalera server. And the character name is Aphela Docentia. That's right. So Aphella, named one of my characters from one of my books. And then Docentia, Docentia. So you can add me and play with me if you want, if you're playing that game. If not, don't worry about it. Why don't you pay for proofreaders? Because they miss things. And because it's money. So that's it. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. And have a great one.